Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
I brought Peggy.
I'm here.
Welcome back to the channel. We're going to do
back.
another episode of helping you say yes to the deck.
Yep.
We're going to help a couple people pick some
The
decks.
game show where you buy your own prizes.
Yep, that's the one. That's what we're doing. Our fun.
Look what you won. Now go pay for it.
That's it. All right, you guys.
Okay.
So we're going to get started. Let's go.
Oh, Bruno's ready.
Let's get going then.
Okay.
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 All right.
All right.
Starting now.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Everybody, we have Nancy from Paper Moon Tarot here with us today. She has a channel, which will be linked down below. And today we're going to spend as much of her money as humanly possible.
Cool.
No,
Okay, well, Peggy.
No.
I like spending other people's money.
No. Okay, this video's over. You're not spending a cent. Thank you for coming. Goodbye.
No, you guys are paying, right?
Oh, no.
What's fun for me is being able to spend other people's money.
This is a game show where you pay for your own prize.
That's right.
Okay, deal.
Yep.
Thank you for playing that for over your own cash.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's how this goes. So if you are new to say yes to the deck, anybody watching, this is where Peggy and I are going to help Nancy to select hopefully the best choice for right now.
The best match.
Sometimes more than one. It could happen.
That has happened.
It has happened.
The best choice based on what you're looking at right now.
Yeah. So we're going to do our best. We have a list of decks.
Apparently, you're going to do your best to make her spend all her money.
That's always my goal. Yes.
Okay. No.
I'll buy you guys a couple of decks if you really work it,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes by the end, I'll buy something. Peggy bought something at the end of one of these.
One, yeah.
Yeah.
One,
I think you've actually done it more than me.
No.
No.
You go, oh, look, I want that one and that one and that one. If you add it up, yeah.
Things get added to my list. It's true.
Okay. So let's stop talking about my wife's spending habits because you don't want to. We're here to talk about tarot, not have a boxing match.
This is true.
So, what are you looking for in a deck right now?
What I'm ever looking for in a deck is the art. I kind of collect decks, and I collect them based on the art, the quality of the production, and that kind of thing. So I'm always looking at new decks to get, and I think, some variety in what I'm getting. I don't want 200 collage decks or whatever, but,
you are a collector.
I am a collector. And so, I'm looking for the next big thing.
Okay. Let me see if I can pull up some better images because the website doesn't really show a lot. But I think if I go on Instagram, we'll be able to get a better idea.
This is a very colorful deck.
This is so freaking colorful, and I'm living. It's really, really beautiful.
So
tell us about this one.
Yeah, tell us what you think. Tell us why is this on your list?
It's on my list. I've seen it on a few people's channels, and it's original acrylic art, I believe. And so it appeals to me. Today, there's so much digital collage and things like that going on that, occasionally you see a original art deck and it just jumped out at me because of that. Obviously because of the colors.
I mean, hello.
Yeah, hello. And I'm such a colorful person. So anyway, that's why I'm looking at it.
Is this an art style that you tend to focus on, or is this something that's kind of relatively like do you focus on really, really bright colorful decks to begin with, or is this something that's kind of a little bit where does this land on your scale? Is this something you're already collecting?
I think the words you're looking for are out there. Yeah, it's out there. I like all kinds of art generally. I don't tend to go for anything too cutesy or too pretty. Sarah Marchetti is, I have one of his decks, but no. I like folksy art. I like, bright, colorful art. Terra de Ozarks, I love the art in that. The Shimmering Veil, I love the Keymaster Tarot because it's so elegant. And, so
you're wide ranging.
I have eclectic, wide ranging taste. Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
So two quick questions, just so I know where I'm starting from. About how many decks do you think you have right now?
You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
I'll go count. A couple hundred, maybe 220, something like that.
roughly in the same range. is what
Okay,
I've got
in
then.
the wonderful world of collecting, that doesn't seem to be too big of a number these days.
Okay.
And do you have any decks that already have this type
That
of
scratch the
bold,
itch.
colorful, artistic style?
You know, I prepared.
You did your
excellent.
homework.
You know, the Ashera Tarot, I have to get it right,
Okay.
is one that reminds me a little bit of this.
Yeah.
With its very bold colors. Now it's mandala like, and it does have descriptive art instead of just mandala type art. You know,
Yeah.
I would not say I have anything quite as psychedelic as this.
Yeah, that's very psychedelic.
It's
Very
freaking
Yeah.
gorgeous.
That's
That
a pretty
it's
deck, yeah.
really pretty. I'm no
Okay.
help in talking her out of this
Okay,
one
okay,
because I love
this
it.
is the first one, and we've got no comparison. So usually my personal opinion is pretty bland on it.
Until you
not
have something to
bland on the
compare
deck.
to.
On which one I think is the better match for you, because there's nothing to compare to yet.
True. And everything's really different on your list too, which I love.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Now, is there now before we get going though, what's the price point on that deck?
It's about $30.
And that's
Now
US.
there is a first edition that's more like 23 or something. It's on sale.
Okay, well, it's not an expensive
really
deck, and that's
affordable,
US,
actually.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I am
Now,
so
you need to stop. Okay. Okay.
That is
We're here to help Nancy.
I know.
Not you.
I'm sorry.
This
Okay.
is not about you today.
Moving on.
Okay. Okay. So no,
Let's
that's
let's take a hard
okay.
step to the left then and look
So
at
we're go-
the serpent and peacock.
okay.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say as we segue is that cardstock is important to me.
okay.
Okay.
And
That is
I'm
something that we haven't got
concerned
yet.
that the spectral wheel, I haven't been able to find out a lot about the cardstock.
Okay.
I've listened to reviews that have said it's a little thinner. It's mild, not shiny, but maybe satiny.
It almost sounds like it might be that like make playing cards classic.
I'm not even sure it's that, but so I have a little concern because cardstock is important to me. So
What kind of card? What's your baseline for cardstock? Sorry, what kind do you like? What's your preference?
Well, there too, I'm kind of all over the place. I like, things like make playing cards, linen cardstock, fine. I am not a riffle shuffler. I can't do it. My hands don't do it. So the thinness isn't as important. I can go for something, rose petally. But, so I like a soft rose petal type stock or a linen-y stock. But just quality, you know what I mean? That it really has a core or something. 350 PSM is.
Two more questions now. Two more questions then.
Yes.
Have you ever gotten a deck that you liked the artwork on, but ultimately rejected the deck because of the cardstock?
Good question.
Yes.
You have. So this becomes important if you don't know what the cardstock is in this deck.
Yes, it does.
Okay. There was a second question and I just lost track of it.
Oh, was it
gone? It's the second question is gone. If it comes back up.
Was it the budget question? You haven't asked that yet.
Yeah. Do you have? Well, that question that always comes up. Do you have a preferred budget that you'd like to stay within?
Yeah.
Under $100, but no.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Excellent.
There was a second question, so if I remember,
just
I'm
throw
probably
it
just
out
gonna go.
there.
Hey, I'll attack you with it. It'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Okay. So the next one is the Serpent and Peacock. This is a Kickstarter.
And I will tell you, I have the first edition of this.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
And it comes in a tin.
Yeah.
And but there's two things about it. It's borderless.
Let me make you a little bit bigger here.
Sorry, it's not borderless. Sorry.
Bordered.
It's not borderless. It's bordered. And you actually, if you go into the Kickstarter, you'll see this very image, and you'll see the difference in darkness. These are bordered, and the images are often a little hard to read because they're darker. And if you look at what's on the Kickstarter, it's clearer, brighter, and it's supposed to have better cardstock.
Gotcha.
So That's what intrigues me about this one, that I could go to I liked this one, but I really, they're doing the things, the creator is doing the things that would make it a deck I'd really love.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so like here you can really see some of the darker cards have
Yeah.
gotten a lot
Brighter. Yeah.
more vibrant. Yeah. And they're now borderless, right? So this is the old version, and then they're gonna look like this.
Yeah.
Now, for anybody watching, just so you know, at the time you're viewing this Kickstarter will have completed. So I'm sorry in advance.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming there'll be a pre-order or an ability to order later.
I don't know. Yeah.
But you have until, Nancy, you've still got a bit of time.
About 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. And what about the cardstock on this one?
This one, which I looked up, is 330 GSM.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty standard.
You know, matte and borderless.
And how often do you use the copy of the deck that you have now?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever,
because to your question earlier, Peggy, because of the cardstock.
Okay, so this has got better cardstock and better visibility, and you already like the deck.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very quirky, fun, curated deck. And it just, you know, I did a review of it and I liked it, but it is a little shinier, a little thinner, and the cards tend to be darker. And, you know, I like a deck. Another thing I like about a deck is that I can read it in the sense of it's got decent sized titles and, you know, that kind of thing. And so improving this in that way intrigues me.
Okay.
So you think you will use the deck if you have a better?
I think so. You know, the way I use decks is that I usually every day pull down a few more decks from my tarot room upstairs. I pull a couple decks, take them downstairs, play with them all day long, and then they may go back up. They may stay in my little cache of decks that I have right here on the desk. They may get pulled out a few times a year just for me to look at the art. I only read for myself. So it's more for the art. I pull out the decks to look at the art, and if I pull it out a few times a year and I don't just throw it in a basket somewhere, then it's a successful deck.
It's a good one.
This deck, even though you're not using it because you don't like the cardstock, isn't just sitting in a basket of things that you need to get rid of. Okay.
And what about anything? Do you have a lot of things like this in your collection? Is this something that stands out for you?
As far as the curated art look, you know, I have things like Lonely Dreamer, and you know, I have a few, but not a lot. You know, maybe out of my whole collection, 3 that have this older style Renaissance-y, you know, curated art. I mean, this has everything from medieval to Renaissance and so on. This is the quirkiest, though. The others tend to be kind of beautiful, and and this one is funky. It's really funky.
Okay, so right now, right this minute, I'm going to say this deck is winning.
Really?
Really?
I'm
because okay. I'm looking at you've kind of got two problems going at the same time. The first deck, the funky one. Now, is it already available?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you can come back and buy that deck later if you really want to.
True.
This deck is on Kickstarter. You've got 2 weeks, or you may lose the opportunity to get it.
I think she'll be able to get it later.
Well, okay, I think, and you will, are two different things, right?
Fair.
So, for me personally, the other deck, what's it called again?
Spectral World.
Spectral World
I'll never
would
forget.
win because it's cooler looking and it's less expensive.
What about price point though?
Yeah, the Peacock and Serpent and Peacock is $62.
It is a more expensive deck, but I don't like to argue in favor of the more expensive deck. But what I will,
she does it a lot. It's kind of shocking.
But here's the thing. Buying a deck that you're ultimately not going to like is a waste of money. But spending a little bit more for a deck that you will like is always the better choice.
And there is a risk with the cardstock. With Spectral World, you don't know what you're getting, and if you end up hating the cardstock, it is a bigger risk.
You have cardstock issues. You have confirmed cardstock.
Wow, cardstock issues.
Cardstock issues.
I better get some psychoanalysis for that one.
Okay, you have a clear preference, and you're already very aware of what your preference is.
Yeah, I do.
So you have no way to confirm whether or not this first deck is going to actually work for you in terms of cardstock. And you said yourself that you will reject a deck that you like based on its cardstock, which is kind of what you've done with the Serpent and Peacock already.
True.
But you have the deck. If it was a brighter deck with better cardstock, you'd like it and use it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we know exactly what she's getting.
I do not like recommending that a person gives into FOMO, fear of missing out. I don't like making that recommendation, but you already know exactly what you are looking for in this particular deck because you already have it.
That's true.
Right.
But there are 2 more decks still to
There
come.
are 2 more decks, but currently I would say that you probably, and the other deck is way less expensive.
True.
If you change your mind and want to buy it on a whim later, there's absolutely no problem. Just because I'm helping you pick a deck does not mean you're not allowed to buy the other decks, right?
True.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
Yeah,
With the Serpent and the Peacock, it's like, I think my initial hesitation was, I have it. Should I buy another one?
But you're not using it.
You know how it is. I think all the things that the creator has done to it is going to make it more usable for me, but you can get it and say, I still don't like it. So, but I think I would like it. So,
but in the wonderful world of tarot collecting, that's always the risk. Lisa goes absolutely crazy over a deck, gets it, and then a few weeks, a few months, a year later goes, it's not working for me anymore, and then she'll trade it with somebody.
That's happened for sure.
So is that something you do? Are you stuck with it? Do you trade decks? Do you sell decks?
I haven't gotten into trading decks yet. I do have several that I'd like to get into trading, but I just haven't. I think partially because of COVID, I didn't want to have to run to the post office all the time.
No, that's fair.
Okay, so
but I have things I could trade or get rid of. Yeah.
Okay. So, and it sounds like you're willing if the circumstances come your way, if the right. Okay. Because that's always the big thing as a collector, getting a deck that you ultimately don't like, and then feeling like you have no resources. Because especially trading is a great way to find a new home while finding a new opportunity for yourself at a much lower price, that especially if you're just straight trading. True. Anyway, I would say that Serpent and Peacock is probably your choice right now. There's more to talk you out of, so no worries there.
More to talk about.
Peggy, I don't want to meet you as a used car salesman trying to get
for real, right?
No, the thing is, okay, if you don't agree and if you're like, no, I'm so addicted to the art that I am willing, if you think you're willing to take a risk on the cardstock, then I would go back to the other deck because it's less expensive and you can get it right away and you don't have to wait for it to show up.
Right.
So they both have pros and cons, and they're unequal pros and cons.
True.
Okay. So how are you feeling how are you feeling right now about Spectral World? Do you want to keep it on the list for now? Or do you want to let it go for now?
I'd like to keep it on the list for now.
Okay.
Serpent and Peacock, is it still on the list too?
Pardon?
Do you want to keep
them?
Both?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're going to be one of those. Pardon me?
I might end up buying 4 decks. Thank you.
Oh, cool. I approve. I'm sorry. Okay.
This is not a competition.
Okay. Moving on. We have the Keeper of the Sacred Bee.
Okay.
So tell us about this one and what draws you to it, why you wanted that kind of stuff.
Well, I've seen earlier bee tarots from this creator, and I was kind of, the bee theme didn't thrill me. My husband's allergic to bees, so we spend most of our lives avoiding them. But I saw a review of this one recently, and it's so colorful and so beautiful, in the art, that I thought, it might be interesting to have this one. It's good for, what?
I said be interesting.
Bee puns.
I couldn't help myself.
They're spelled differently, Lisa.
Oh my gosh. So this is a very bee forward theme.
Yes.
For real. Okay, and it's funny because when you said that about allergies, like my mom was deathly allergic to bees growing up. So I've just always had a bit of a mild aversion to them. So I think they're cute from a distance, you know what I'm saying? But
like
For
some
me,
guys.
yeah, for me, the amount of bees would be hard to see. So, but it is, I agree with you. It's very colorful and it's very textured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be very helpful here because I'm not a fan of the single theme. I don't know how to describe this. Like, I mean, you're working on a unicorn deck. So,
yeah,
I mean,
single theme.
But let me see some of these cards.
Look at the Hermit. The Hermit is so gorgeous.
The Hermit.
These are gorgeous cards.
Where's the majors? Okay, so there's the Hermit.
There's the Hermit.
I mean, the art is gorgeous. I won't lie.
The art's beautiful.
Man, does everybody have to be swarmed by bees?
Okay.
Though?
when it comes to a singular theme, in this case, bees. If you're not into bees as a theme, like if you're into unicorns, a unicorn-based deck makes sense. If you're into rabbits, a rabbit-based deck makes sense. But are you into bees?
No, occasionally they get into me, but I don't like that. But no, that's my big hesitation on this one. That, it just, even though it's pretty art and that kind of thing, it may, when I got it and looked at it close up, it would be too much of the insect stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of what deck I have. I'm forgetting, but where the wands I think are snakes, and I really like the deck, but I get to the wands and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know how to describe this. Like, I mean, I've got a dragon deck. It's a single theme. It's dragons. Lisa's putting unicorn deck, single theme, unicorns. I like single theme decks of things that I'm into.
I was just gonna say I've actually had this issue with
and I don't know how to explain that in a way that makes sense because.
Well, remember the Tarot Renard?
Yeah.
Love that deck. Went crazy for it. But I'm really still to this day having a hard time bonding with it because it's foxes. And I love foxes. I think they're super cute, but I don't have any particular affinity for them. So it's just like, oh, do I want to deck all the foxes right now?
Do I want to look at foxes today?
Yeah.
So
kind of.
Do you have decks that are single themed?
Ooh,
like I said, like dragon, unicorn, other animals, other spiritual things.
You just got me thinking, why isn't there a wine deck? I mean,
there should be.
I mean, like I have the rabbit deck, which is adorable, and I pull it out occasionally because it's adorable. It's kind of hard to tell which card is which because it's all just rabbits.
You won't have that problem with that deck.
No.
And I have some animal decks and that kind of thing, but the oak ash and thorn and which is all animals, which I actually hardly ever use. I know it's a beautiful deck, but
it is beautiful.
No. So anyway, I guess I don't have too many that are one theme, to answer your question.
I remember my second question
from before.
Have you ever collected a deck just for the sake of collecting it, even though you knew you probably wouldn't use it?
Yes. The Tildwick Tarot.
Nothing wrong with
that.
Yeah.
It was like they're releasing one more edition and it's collectible and I just wanted to look at it, but I've never really used it because I can't read those cards.
You know what? That's very common in collecting. Very common. Lisa's got several decks that she owns for the sake of having them that she looks at and very rarely uses.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I have a couple like that for sure.
Nothing wrong with that.
I have others that are collectible that I really want to use and I have to treat with kid gloves.
Yep. Absolutely.
Corte de Turoki, is one that, the art paper, the tall Il Meneghello.
That's one of mine that I have that I love to look at.
You just have to treat it carefully, but I would love to have a laminated version of that I could just throw around everywhere, but I don't because it's kind of collectible. So yeah, it's kind of a trade-off. Do I have anything collectible that I absolutely hate that I wouldn't give away? No,
No.
I don't want stuff on my shelf that is stupid and ugly.
Fair.
Okay, so I have a feel about this deck.
Okay.
And I think I'm bad with names to begin with, and I haven't seen these decks before because she's the one that constantly looks at decks. The first deck, what's that one again?
Spectral World.
Spectral World. Because I'm looking at
Spectral World.
Okay, what we can see on our screen is a small thumbnail of what we can put up to show. And looking at it in the thumbnail, I can see that it's matching the color theme of that deck.
Oh, both decks are kind of similarly colorful.
Oh,
You mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
look,
I agree.
just
Yeah.
look at a glance.
It's very
glance,
vibrant.
Yes, very, very vibrant.
Yeah.
So I think the first deck, what is it again?
Spectral Whirl.
Spectral World.
Not World. Not World.
Whirl.
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 Like Tilt-A-Whirl.
World Peas.
Spectral World.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where I was getting confused.
Yes.
By the time this is over, I might remember it. Okay.
Maybe.
But see, look at the when you look at that and as
From
a
a
small
distance,
when you look at that from a distance, like
Can we
I can
do
see
that?
in the thumbnail.
Like that.
Yeah, when you look at it from this, look how
Yeah.
you can see how the colors
The colors are very, very bright.
are very
It's true.
similar.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as much as this is a beautiful deck, you don't sound excited at all to be looking at a deck full of bees.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I think you're right. If we had to just drop one immediately from this list of 4, this I was kind of thinking because would
Yeah.
probably be one that we can say goodbye to.
Yeah.
I think
it's the colors and
it's
the
the-
vibrancy of the artwork that's drawing you in.
Yeah.
But the theme isn't drawing you in. And I've had that exact same
Yes.
issue before and it hasn't worked out.
Yeah, well,
You know?
like, you've shown me dragon decks. Oh, you should take this dragon deck, and I'm like, no.
I want
Because
you to have
because
all the dragon decks.
she wants me to have all the
I'm a dragon deck pusher. It's true. How about this one? What about that one?
I said I like dragon decks. Now she wants me to have
Lisa,
them all.
do you have the Universal Fantasy deck?
No, I don't. Is it
Lots of
good?
dragons in it. It's a US Games, one of my favorites. Check it
Really?
out. Mhm.
Universal Fantasy, huh?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Let me just write that down. Just give me one moment.
You're gonna go right
Sorry,
back.
I don't mean to make her spend money.
Oh, yes, you do. Everybody does.
We don't object. It's fine. It's
It's like
okay.
you win the internet if you can make her buy a deck.
You know what? Because I enable people all the time. They're like, okay, let's enable Lisa now. So,
Yeah, like-
do you want to just go ahead and just
I
Drop
think
it?
that one.
do it?
Let's wax it.
Do it. All right, it's off the list.
Yeah, I think
We're narrowed
I think
down.
the world. I think Tilt-A-Whirl over there.
It's
has
not
got
Tilt-A-Whirl. It's Spectrum.
part of it. I'm fine.
Okay, well, now that I use Tilt-A-Whirl as an example for the word, we're never going to
But I'll
get away from
remember it now.
You will remember
I'll remember it now. Now that I've come up with something offensive, I'll remember
That's
it.
true.
Yeah, that beat deck was gorgeous, but from the color and art style,
Don't kick the camera.
yeah, that one, it would be a better match. I think it'd be a better match for what you're saying that you're looking for right now.
So what's the name of this 4th deck that we're going to be looking at? Because it doesn't really say on the listing. It's an
Moon Magic. If you read down in the listing, it calls, I'm sorry, Magic Moon. See, I got it
Magic
wrong.
Moon. Okay,
Magic
let me
Moon.
just throw this up on the screen. So I've got the pictures of it. This is really,
You know what we have to do is from now on, I have to be given a list.
Yeah.
a list.
we can give
to
you a little piece
refer
of paper. So this one's Magic Moon Tarot.
Mhm.
So
And
this,
I
I've never seen
I
this.
first saw this on Dustin's channel recently.
Wait, really? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never seen this. And then you're like, oh, I saw it on Dustin channel. I'm like, uh-oh. What
Dustin's
did I
gonna
miss?
yell at you. Dustin,
Yeah.
leave your comment below, Dustin.
No.
Tell her off.
No, wait a
What a
minute.
friend you are.
No, holy cow. Okay, wait. Did I even put it on the screen yet? Okay, yes, I did.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, hey, look.
Oh,
there's
it's a
like
video.
This is really
That's gorgeous.
It's like gold. And is this painted? Is this AI?
AI, but
Is it?
it's as Dustin commented, it's AI, but it's used as an art tool by the artist. It's not just pure AI. I did an AI deck. See my AI deck, guys.
Oh, wait, let me come over to the screen. Let me pull you up here. Oh,
That's cute.
And Ace of Wands, but I'm not an artist, and this is not for sale. This was
No.
for me.
Just for
But,
fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much fun to just go and generate AI art and figure it out. You still have to pick which version that comes out when you use the keywords, which one really fits the moon or the empress or whatever, and what keywords.
But you get to personalize every single card. So if there's a particular card you're not liking, you get to try again until you do.
Exactly. And
what is it? Your sorry.
Pardon. I was just going to say, I don't, some people mind the use of AI art. Like I said, I don't sell my deck. It was just for me to have a creative project. But this uses AI art in with other things, just like any collage deck uses photos, this and that. And so it's intriguing to me how somebody created this deck utilizing AI with artistic tools, and it just, to me, looks kind of elegant.
how does this, do you have anything like this in your collection now that you would say sort of kind of fills this void for you?
I don't think so. I have some collage decks, but none of them, to me, collage decks quite often are so different. You know what I mean? It's like the tarot is a collage deck, and it looks totally different than this deck. So yeah, I have some collage decks.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, the color tone, and to me, again, I think there's an elegance to it that I can't think of anything in my collection that exactly reminds me of this.
Now, this one, if you were to put this up side by side next to the serpent and the peacock, what's your visceral gut feeling between those two decks?
Well, I guess my gut feeling would be to go for Magic Moon, because I don't already have something like it.
True. It's unique.
And the cardstock is really good. It's $350 GSM, and
we're looking at that Canadian price.
Yeah. They can't see it on the screen right now.
Yeah, it's about $36, so it's not that expensive. But it utilizes AI, which I've just done to create a deck of my own. So it intrigues me to kind of look into that. So if I had to choose between the two, since I already have a version of the Serpent and Peacock, I'd probably go for this.
Now with those two, how do you feel about Spectral Whirl in the mix? Your face though.
No, with those two, I look at Spectral Whirl and I think it's cute but kind of cheesy. Does that
really?
You know what I mean? It's like a fun deck you might find at Barnes and Noble, but is it one I really
would reach for? Well, and when you think about the majority of what's in your collection, is it more of these sort of elegant, more a lot more historical decks, for example, than really modern ones, or is it a really I think you've said it's kind of a mix of everything, but
it's kind of a mix. I mean, really, Spectral Whirl reminds me of you know Tarot of the Four Elements.
No, I haven't seen that. I don't think I've seen that one.
Write that
down. Okay.
Tarot of the Four Elements. She's gonna go write it down.
Four Elements. It's got these very colorful borders, and so that's very much like it, and maybe scratches the itch.
And you've got that already.
And I've got that. It's on Horrible Cardstock. That's a good example of one that it's so much fun, and I ate the cardstock, so I never used it.
So I'm still gonna beat that drum that takes Spectral Whirl off your list, because it's the least expensive one. You can pick it up on a whim at any time.
It sounds like a really big risk for you.
And you're not sure on the cardstock.
Agree.
And the cardstock is a deal breaker for you if it's bad enough.
More for me.
What about, guys? Let's negotiate.
Okay, fair enough.
What if I got Spectral Whirl and Magic Moon, which is $36 and $30? I could get two of them.
That's about the price of one pricey indie deck.
I was going to say that if you're determined.
Wait, that's actually the same as just buying one of the Serpent and the Peacock.
Serpent and Peacock is about the same price. If you give up Serpent and Peacock
and get those two,
which again, I'm not a big fan of giving into FOMO anyway. And if you back the Kickstarter now, when are you getting the deck? How instant gratification are you being right now?
Well, I told Lisa my birthday's coming up in a few days, and I need something.
Okay, so buying a Kickstarter,
I can order it and get it down the line.
Buying into a Kickstarter, you might not be getting it until you don't know.
There's also another benefit. If you get Spectral Whirl as an experiment, then for those of us who are considering buying Spectral Whirl, you can give us a detailed review of the cardstock from somebody who appreciates good cardstock.
Oh, so now this is business 101.
This can purely serve my personal interest. Okay.
That was actually one of the things I was going to suggest is that seeing the prices, and what's that other one again? The Moon,
Magic
Moon, and Spectral Whirl are together the same price as Serpent and the Peacock.
Right.
And Serpent and the Peacock looks gorgeous, and it looks like it's going to tick all your boxes, but you're also going to have to wait for it.
Yeah. And we had a bunch. I think the Creator had a bunch available for sale after their Kickstarter previously. So I don't feel like it's something that's going to be unavailable.
Okay, you know what I'm going to suggest? Okay, my suggestion is you go ahead and get the Magic Moon. I was close.
The moon deck.
The moon deck.
Yeah.
My suggestion is to go ahead and get the moon deck
And Spectral World. I'm sorry. What's
No,
your suggestion?
No, not quite.
We're so close.
Okay, no. Nancy's negotiating. Here's my counter offer. Okay. My counter offer is give up on the Serpent and the Peacock, because if you're hoping to have a deck in the very near
For your
future,
birthday,
that's not going to happen with a Kickstarter deck. Now, just because we're negotiating to an agreement today doesn't mean you can go back and grab it before the Kickstarter ends.
Back to the counter offer.
The counter offer is you get the moon deck and order that right now, and then you go back to the Tilta World deck and do some research on it.
I could
send a message to the creator, reach out to other people that have reviewed the deck and ask them if they have either the creator or other people that have reviewed and said, do you happen to know what the cardstock is? What's the GSM on that cardstock? They might be able to tell you.
Or spoil yourself for your birthday and get both.
But I would say get the moon deck now. It's inexpensive. It's within your price range. And honestly, you look to be the most excited.
That's true.
When you review this, you'll see that you just lit up in a way that you didn't light up for the other 3 decks.
Yeah.
You did. The physical reaction was there. So get the moon deck. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
The give up on the Serpent and Peacock. And like I said, you still got 2 weeks in the Kickstarter. You are allowed to change your mind. I won't come after you. Okay.
Then
either take a chance on the Mystic Whirl,
Spectrum,
whatever. I keep saying
the world deck.
They tilt the world deck. Take a chance on the deck because financially it's cheaper than Serpent. Those 2 decks together are still cheaper than Serpent and the Peacock. Or do some research and take the time for the research on the deck.
Well,
I see you. I can see you. Yeah, I would do that. I would give up on the Serpent and the Peacock. It's a beautiful deck, but you're also not going to have any. If you're wanting to buy yourself something nice for your birthday, you're not getting that in time for maybe next birthday because you just don't know how long it takes for these decks to get sent out.
That's true.
Yeah, and the Mercedes isn't coming for a few months, so.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah, you have to have something to do till the Mercedes shows up.
It's true. I mean, we have to kill that time, right? So, okay, it is your decision time, though. You're the one that's got
the final
Peggy's
decision.
giving you all of her suggestions and counter offers.
We actually only managed to eliminate one. You still have to pick.
You
have to pick between the 3 what combination you want. Because I will say, if you get the Serpent and Peacock, you're almost at your budget.
She didn't have a budget. Oh no, she did have a budget. That's true.
Under $100, yeah.
Yeah, you
under $100. Serpent Peacock is fine, but it's close enough to your budget.
62.
Yeah, plus shipping, you're going to be probably a little close to where you want to be.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Where are you landing?
Where you at? Now you have to do your own.
No pressure.
I'm confused. I think the moon deck is one that I should probably definitely explore.
Yeah. When you rewatch the video, you'll see for yourself that it's the one you should be getting next.
And then as far as Serpent and Peacock and the World deck, I'll keep an eye on both of them. I'll do a little more research. The bee deck, you're right. Who needs bees?
Yeah.
Except the planet. But,
the planet
needs that.
Yeah, no, the bee deck is a really cool theme, but unless you're actually into bees, and people are, there's plenty. The reason why it's out there as a theme is because there's people that are into bees, but you're into the colors of it, not the bees themselves. And I think you'll enjoy the world deck better.
Yeah.
Good.
So you're landing on the moon, Magic Moon?
I'll start with that.
I think that's the one you're going to be. I think that's the one you're going to be the happiest with, and it's
especially for the short term. Yeah,
yeah, and there's no rule that says you can't go back and get the other ones later. But I think this is the one you should get now.
Now, do you guys realize that we've decided on the moon deck for Paper Moon Tarot?
Oh,
well, there you go. See,
known that at the beginning.
Amazing.
See, it was fate.
It was fate. Well done. So you're saying yes to Magic Moon Tarot?
Yes.
Hey. And you're probably saying yes to at least one of the other ones as well, but not.
You never know. I'm really bad. I'm as bad as Lisa, probably.
So our collections are very similar sizes. So I believe it.
This is what happens when it comes to collecting, though, because everything's fine, because there's no rule book on when and how decks come out. So sometimes 4 or 5 decks at a time that you're really excited about can show up,
Or you just exactly.
and you have to make a decision.
Truth.
And then you might go for months where nothing's just really catching your
Nothing's
attention.
appealing to you.
Right.
So are you you mentioned that, or we know that you have a YouTube channel, Paper Moon Tarot, which we're gonna have linked down below. Do you have any other socials you want to let people know where to find you?
No, I pretty much avoid other social media because I have a lot.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a lot. It's a lot. I try to stay on
It's a
YouTube for
lot,
most things.
yeah.
So yeah. But thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
This was
it
so
was
much
great.
fun. And happy birthday.
Yeah, when is your birthday?
February 10th.
So it'll be
right.
so
just a few days.
it's like really soon, and it'll
Yeah.
have just passed.
I'm getting younger and younger every year.
Absolutely.
That's how that works. Yes. That's
And
exactly
yeah,
how it
and you guys in there in Pacific Northwest, if we ever come near each other, let's sit down and really.
We're just up here in Canada, in Vancouver, Canada.
Vancouver,
I'm
Canada.
in Port Townsend, Washington, which is
Not too far.
Oh, cool.
No, not too
No,
far at
not
all.
far
We should
at
get
all.
out there. That'd be nice to go out there.
it's like 3 hours from you guys.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
it's not bad
bad.
at all.
Let us know when you get your deck in
Bye,
and keep
buddy.
us posted on how you're liking it.
We just said thank you. And Bruno's sitting right here. He can tell.
Hi, Bruno.
Come here, buddy. Bruno. Come here. So he can. There. Bruno made his obligatory visit.
There we go.
Bruno approves of your selections.
Jade says hi.
Oh, hi, Jane.
I love
Oh my
cats.
God, look at her floofy face.
I'm
I
actually
can't.
a cat person. Bruno and
She's
Shayla are my
going to probably try and bite me. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. We're going to let you go. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. And we are excited that you got a deck you like. And happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. I'm glad you got a deck that you liked.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Hi, we have Orsi here with us. Hello, Orsi.
Hello, Orsi.
Hi.
I'm so glad you could join us. This is so much fun. Let's spend all your money.
Not all.
No.
Wait.
If she wanted to spend all her money, she wouldn't need to be
Well,
here.
some
Yeah.
of your money.
Mhm.
Some of your money.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, and I apologize for everyone who's watching, but I'm a little sick, so if I sound like Darth Vader, it's because of that. It's not
That's
because
okay. You'll be,
Orsi's a
I have
trooper.
power.
you'll be more
Yeah,
susceptible to
stormtrooper,
doing what
yeah.
I say.
What's that?
I said she'll be more susceptible to doing what I say.
Is that how you think that's
Mm.
going to work? I don't know.
Probably not. It's going to be, no, I'm sick. I'm doing whatever the hell I want.
I was just gonna say, like, it could go the complete opposite direction.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm in new territory, so this is an experiment actually.
We'll see
okay.
how it plays out.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no rules. There's no rules. I mean, people have picked more than one deck. People have decided to pick no decks at all. Like,
Peggy's talked them into multiples or the most expensive thing. She likes,
That's weird.
yeah.
huh?
I mean, I'm counting on you to be like, oh, that's the cheapest.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Okay.
Well, see, now that's the first question. Do you have a budget in mind?
I mean, I picked decks that I can all afford, but if I end up with the cheapest option, then that's obviously the better one.
Okay.
Okay, so price is going to matter to you. Good to know.
It
Okay, what's
can.
the cheapest one?
I'm not gonna say it will. It could.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's important to know because depending on what's going on, people have different budgets at different times. So
That's
that
true.
that's always an important consideration.
Definitely
Yeah,
important.
I bought a few indie decks recently, so
So maybe it's time to take a breather on
I'm
that.
gonna take a break.
Yeah.
I noticed
Okay.
you got mass market. Are these all mass market decks on your list?
yes.
Nice. Okay. So this is the Fifth Spirit Tarot. Tell us about this one and your thoughts on this one and such.
Okay, so obviously one of the biggest positive for this deck is the diversity.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like I was thinking about it when I saw it on your channel recently. I was thinking if I would have won, that would have been a sign, but I didn't. So that's another sign. But I mean, I would love to have this deck. Obviously, that's why it's on my list. But
This is
I'm not
really
sure
cool.
if it's more about I want to support a diverse deck and just have a diverse deck and then never really read with it, because it's what I don't like about this deck is how empty the background is.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the Page of Wands, it's a perfect Page of Wands, but there's like only a shadow. And I like when something is going on in the background that I can always pick up on. little
There we go.
details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's a simple deck in a really good way. I'm just not sure that if I would end up with this one,
That you'll use it.
then it would be just a novelty that, hey, I supported this deck, then awesome, and I feel good for that, but not
Yeah, but you
actually.
also want it to be something that's functional in your collection.
Okay, so 2 questions. Do you collect decks just to collect them?
I recently had a revelation that I might will do that. So
Okay. Are you okay with that, or is it something that you think you're probably going to try to avoid?
I'm trying to avoid, but I realized that I'm gonna be okay with having decks just for the sake of having the art style, because I can't do what my original idea was, that end up like with I don't know, 3 decks, and just
Right.
read with the 3 decks. That's just impossible. So
Yeah, we're past that. That ship has sailed.
a whole
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I mean, I already have 2 boxes where I keep my decks that I want to keep away because of deck overwhelm. And there are 2
Oh,
boxes
okay.
now, not
Gotcha.
just one.
Do
So
you have other decks that already show diversity?
I mean, I was thinking, I don't know how diverse the light steers is, because there is some diversity, not a lot of age, and of course everybody is beautiful. So I
Yeah.
don't think I have a deck where body diversity is present, except for the Reclaim Oracle, but that's a special thing on its own.
Yeah, that is kind of
Right.
specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Plus, this is the cheapest currently on Book
it is the
Depository
cheapest?
because it's on
Point
sale.
in its favor.
there's a
Yep.
point in its favor, but I have it sounds like like
It sounds like you almost want to want it
buying
more
it-
than you do.
diversity is awesome, but if it's the only reason why you're buying it and you may not find, and you're kind of dubious about whether you're going to use it,
Or if you know there's another more like diverse deck that you might like better, that you are kind
Yeah.
of thinking in the back of your mind you want someday, but maybe it's an indie
well,
and you
diversity,
haven't.
like diversity as a topic that's showing up. It's easier
For
and easier to
sure.
find in the tarot
It's
world.
getting better. Yeah.
It's getting a lot better, and it's getting better faster.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Every time
great.
Pride comes up, I want to have something. I have the Magical Tarot, which is it's the same illustrator who illustrated the Samurai Vito Tarot.
Oh.
Okay.
It's a very simple RWS clone deck, and it's not officially bisexual, but the colors are bisexual. So
Oh,
I
that's
was like,
neat.
oh, I'm
Okay.
getting that for bisexual. So it's
Oh, that's awesome.
it's all the purple, blues, and pinks.
Oh,
Okay.
I love that.
Okay.
In a
Oh,
way,
that's
I
fun.
have a deck for Pride, but I
Yeah.
always look for something rainbowy.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Is there anything else on your list? I'm just looking now. I don't think so. That really
I don't think
does
no.
that. No, these all seem really,
That's
really
okay.
different.
That's okay. I mean, we can't really start narrowing things down until we start comparing
That's
anyway. So
true.
let's take a look at what's next on the list
And then see.
and see how that compares.
This one is one I feel like I want to want,
You always want to want stuff.
I do. It's true. I've seen this one around the internet. This one's quirky, hey?
Yes, and I love the colors. I love the
Nice.
art style. But to be honest, I only think that people mention this deck in first impression. Oh, I just got this deck videos. So I don't even know how actually well it reads, because
Yeah.
people don't talk about it in a long run.
That's interesting. I think I've kind of noticed the same.
Okay, so what do you like about this deck?
Yeah.
The size is one thing.
Yeah,
because
this is a little
it's
smaller,
a
right?
smaller
Ooh,
one,
okay.
and I have small hands, so it's always
Yeah,
welcome.
I love small decks.
Yeah.
I like I don't even know. I don't think it's watercolor actually, but it's very close to that, or it's ink or something like that. So I really like the art medium that I assume it's made with, and just the difference, or just the uniqueness of it. Because every time I look at a card, because sometimes I just go around and window shop, I just find something that is not an RWS representation of the card. But I'm not sure, that's why I'm not sure, because no, people are not talking about it. So I don't know if there's enough information in the guidebook to understand the cards enough, if they are
Yeah.
different from the original one, because I can be very annoyed with decks when, you know, the artwork is different and there's nothing in the guidebook. So
To describe it, I know that's so
Okay.
frustrating.
Now,
And this one does have just a little white book, as far as I remember.
yeah,
okay.
I
So,
think so too.
and you like to, so you do like to deep dive into the decks that you get with a more
Yes.
chunky book?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so you know, it comes and goes, and I see it, and then I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, and I'm doing that for a while.
And
Yeah,
is there anything in your collection that kind of has a similar feel already?
that's a good question.
To be honest, I stopped doing the comparing decks to my other ones because I
Okay.
decided that all of them are unique. So
That's true. It
Okay,
is
yeah.
true.
Yeah. Some people keep track. Some people don't.
I did that too. I had a very specific way of collecting buying decks when I started. It had seasonal categories and, you know, sci-fi and whatever. And then at some point I was like, but I want that deck too. And then it's gonna be two in the same category. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. And just dissolved the category.
Yep. Do what you like. Do what
No,
you like.
and here's a question I haven't got to yet. How many decks are in your collection?
Who?
Not exact numbers, not just a
Yeah.
ballpark figure.
200, I think, and 200 ish, at
Yeah.
least. But it could be more now. So
And do you trade? Do you like buy sell trade decks with friends? And you do?
I
Okay.
mean, I have a pile of decks that I have my iPad on, which I plan on selling. So
Okay.
Okay, so it's not a problem for you to rehome if it doesn't work out, kind of thing.
it's not the easiest because in Hungary it's harder to find people who actually
Yeah.
buy decks, and you know.
That's true.
So
It can
but-
be trickier.
yeah,
Okay.
Okay. So this one versus the Fifth Spirit Tarot. If you had to like pick one of those two, you don't have to right now, but I'm just curious if one's clearly in the lead of these two.
I would pick this one, I think.
This one over Fifth
See,
Spirit.
I think I would too,
Yeah.
because the first thing that you said was that you weren't sure that you would even use the other deck,
This one has more color.
and you didn't
for
like
sure.
the lack of background in it.
Yeah, and this one has some unique things going on.
Mm.
And I'm not saying, you know, the Fifth Spirit doesn't, but
No,
that's a very, in a way, traditional RWS deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, each deck is unique, and each deck is unique in its own
Yes.
way.
Yeah. So if you want to be able to like sink in, that's a really every time I see these
Yeah, I
cards,
know.
I'm like, I kind of want this.
I know,
I'm
right?
I know, it's really cute.
Yeah.
So this
It's
one
a very
stays.
interesting one.
Do you think you're ready to drop the Fifth Spirit off your list already, or do you want to wait a little bit?
No, let's drop it because, you know, it's
I mean,
easier to move forward.
Yeah,
And you
that's
can
right.
always, and I mean, there's no rule that said that there's no rule that said you can't go get it later.
Yeah,
The-
exactly.
this whole process is about what is the deck that you should get now.
I'm still looking for my perfect queer deck, you know.
Yeah,
something
I know
yeah.
what you mean.
that really, and there's not a lot yet.
Yeah, there's been some fun ones with like
Yeah.
I was about to start listing them, and that's gonna get us off into like another.
Yeah. Don't listen. You're
No,
fine. There's
no,
tons.
stay on track, Lisa. Stay on track. Okay, so we've
Okay,
got
so
Tarot de Luz still on the list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's take. Oh, I'm not going to be any help with this next
Okay,
one.
go
All
on.
right,
Get in there.
All right, hold on here. Yeah, the Bonefire is a longtime favorite for me. So what attracts you to this one?
Oh, the busyness.
Yes.
I just love that. This would be a deck that every time that I look at it, I would find something new, depending on the reading.
Yep.
Plus, even though I think it's a bigger deck,
A little bit.
but I could chop off the borders because the titles are, if I'm correct, are in the cards in some shape and form.
Yeah,
They
I
are
think they are. I'm trying to
painted
remember if they
in.
are consistently, but I think they are. Yeah.
Most
and
of them,
even if
at
they're not,
least.
they're pretty easy to distinguish, I think.
Yeah, and even though it's not my exact favorite art style, I just still like the tattoo art kind of impression that I have. But yeah,
Okay, so question. I don't know which one of you can answer, but I thought the Bonefire's been out for quite a while already.
It has been. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how come you haven't gotten it yet?
Oh, good question.
It's on the more expensive side of things.
Okay.
Even if
Guidebook.
it's a, even
Sorry.
if it's a, yeah. I know. I for some reason there are publishers whose decks are more expensive. I guess import cost or whatever coming from US or right now UK because of Brexit. So yeah.
Yeah, this one you mentioned earlier that you really like if an artist is going to do or a creator is going to do something different in the artwork that they explain it in the guidebook. This guidebook goes in like detail in what's in every card. The guidebook entries are really in depth. It's a meaty.
So you're
good
trying to
guidebook.
sell the deck.
I will try to sell anybody this deck because I love it so much. When you say the busyness is something you like, that's exciting because a lot of people, that's their only complaint about this is that it's busy. But I love the busyness.
Yeah, you just kind of lit up going, this is really busy.
And I'm
like
yeah.
So do you so when you're doing a reading, if there's a lot going on in the card, is being able to just look over the card, finding things, is that something you enjoy doing?
I'm trying to, because sometimes I'm just how I read is that the information is coming out and then doesn't matter which card is in front of me, but I'm trying to learn to slow down, to actually look at the deck that I'm using to see the different message that could come through. And with a deck like this, that's a very good fun and practice as well.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of decks.
Mm-hmm. This is a really colorful deck too.
Yeah, it's very this and Fifth Spirit Tarot couldn't be more different because Fifth Spirit had that very stark background, and this is just there's something going on in every corner of the card.
Now what about the art? Because the first two decks you showed, the art was a lot more muted. Do you like the more muted art, or do you really enjoy the really bright colors?
I love them both. To be honest, I really like the Fifth Spirit's muteness and tones, and I love the pasteliness of the loose. So, and I really like the rainbowy, strong reds and purples that this deck has.
Okay, and what's the price difference between this one and the Tarot Deluxe?
I'm gonna check. It's not as bad because the loose is not that cheaper either. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, let me pull up our screen here.
Okay. That's the Tarot Deluxe, and then that's the.
Oh, okay. So they're fairly close.
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I just saw you kind of light up when the bonfire popped up when you said they're so busy, and you just had this smile. It's like
you seem more excited about that one.
About the bonfire.
You seem definitely. That's for sure.
Yeah,
you seem more excited. The prices aren't all that much different. I mean, is the Tarot Deluxe like something else that becomes important is whether or not you can get the deck in the future.
These are all mass market, right?
Yeah, all mass market. So I should be fine.
Yeah, I would say Bonefire. I would suggest Bonefire, and obviously just because I'm suggesting it, you don't have to pick it. No, right now you've got two right now. Do we want to eliminate Tarot Deluxe?
I think we can, because what Lisa said about the guidebook for this one is a big thing. Because I mean, if after this video goes live and someone links me to a very thorough walkthrough where they talk about the guidebook and they tell me how amazing it is, I will buy that deck as well. But right now I'm just not sure if it's just gonna be like, oh, pretty, but what does it mean?
Yeah,
we have no idea.
I've had that happen, and it's so frustrating.
Exactly. It sounds like right this minute you would enjoy the Bonefire more.
Yeah, at least from a guidebook.
And from a cost perspective, it's not a huge difference.
It's not as much,
not for you. I mean, I know the price is going up, but the size, there's no point. $20 is a waste if it's for a deck that you don't like.
Exactly.
That's true.
I think you will enjoy the Bonefire.
I think at the very least you'd enjoy going through the guidebooks comparatively. And it is more of a sure thing. There's also, if you go to Amazon.com and look at the US site, there is sample guidebook pages right on the listing.
Oh, yeah.
I was just noticing that when I was looking just now at the Amazon listing. They had 2, I think, full examples of what the guidebook entries look like. I don't know if it's the full thing, but it's definitely, you can get a good feel for it.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
That's okay. So Tarot Deluxe is out.
Oh, okay. Are you okay with that, Orsi?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't. Okay. You don't. If you're not.
No, it's not. I know I'm okay. I mean, comparing the two. Yeah.
We don't have to eliminate it right this minute. We can wait if you would rather wait.
No, there are other decks, so we need to.
There's more to
I
look
said,
at,
there's
so we're
there's
good.
just you know, like there's no point in getting a deck that doesn't excite you.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, so that brings us.
Ah.
So we've got two more.
Ooh, this is like well, we're gonna get you back and resting soon.
Okay, so let's look at the Terror of the Sweet Twilight.
Which is a strong contender, to be honest.
This one is one that excites me a little bit, to be honest, but I don't know if it's one I'm going to pick up or not, but it's exciting. This one's also very bold and like vibrant, like the Bonefire. As far as boldness, anyways, it seems like it's
Okay.
yeah.
And it's kind of alien sci-fi.
Yeah, it has that otherworldly look to it.
Is that a theme you enjoy? Is the otherworldly
It's a theme I don't have decks in, to be honest.
Oh,
I only have
it'll be new to you.
I have the Neo Moon Pocket Edition. Neo Moon
okay.
Tarot. That's the only sci-fi deck that I have currently. And I looked at this one when I started reading tarot, and I was like, oh, I couldn't read with it. It's too different. And then obviously a few years went by, and every time Candy talks about this deck, because she often talks about this deck in her videos, I'm like, why didn't I bought this yet already? Because it is unique, it's quirky. I absolutely I don't know if you can find the death card somewhere.
Let me see if it shows us more images below. Oh yes, it does. Oh,
And
nice.
It's got the name of the card listed in 4 languages, or is that 6 languages?
I would trim the heck out of this deck, because how
this
can
is a
they
beautiful
still
deck.
do borders like this? I'm just honestly.
Yeah. I don't see the death card, but we do have, what do we have here? Justice or strength? That might be strength.
It's in the left upper corner, the English.
Oh yeah.
There's 2 titles in the left
this
upper.
one's blurry.
Yeah. And it's Baby Yoda
I
and
see what
stuff
you're saying.
like that. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
strength.
strength, yeah.
Yeah, it's 6 languages. There's 2 on the bottom, 4 on the top.
Yeah, you're right. These are
It's,
really.
it's just I don't get
I know
it.
exactly what you mean about Candy Soul and Soil talking about it, because she just raves about this deck. It's really unique.
So
It is, and it's colorful and it's cool. So
yeah,
and it catches your attention every time she brings it up. So so it sounds like you know quite a bit about this deck.
Sounds like you've looked at it a lot, but just haven't bought it yet.
but I'm the same with the Bonfire, so you know.
True.
Oh, so we're back at the so from a price point, which is the cheaper deck?
This
one?
is much cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one looks so pretty. True.
Yeah, because you're doing the light up thing again.
Yeah, I know. I feel like this one and the Bonefire both are pretty excited about.
Okay, now you said the Bonefire has a good guidebook. What does this have for a guidebook?
I think it has only a little white one.
Is that a problem?
I don't know if it's a problem with this one though, because it's so out of place that I connect to this world much better, I think.
Yeah.
That I could get the meaning.
Yeah.
Okay. I would be tempted. You know what? I mean, the thing is that this deck and the Bonefire are both. Well, all of the decks that you've got here, you can just get them whenever.
I will say, you said you had small hands, and this one, once you trim it, will be such a beautifully sized deck for you.
Yeah.
Whereas Bonefire is going to be chunkier and harder to handle, and the cardstock is kind of thick and glossy on the Bonefire, which might be an issue for smaller hands, because I know that for me, it shuffled okay, but it's wide and it's short wide, but it's also quite thick. So until you break it in.
Okay, I like this one because it looks very different.
Yeah, this is different.
I like it because it's different. Yeah. So I definitely like that about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know that
a lot of the stuff is still there.
Yeah, the indie version for the Bonefire was good, like size-wise and cardstock wise, but yeah. And
yeah,
I think it's a little low Scarabeo, I think this was, so the cardstock should be okay.
Yeah, this one will be really bendy and like flexible for sure.
And it's got lots of trimming. It won't be a problem.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
Yeah,
and I realized that the thing that kept me away from it is that most of the people refer to it as a shadow work deck, but my shadow lives in different decks. So I when I was thinking about getting a deck for shadow work, this would be just a cool, fun deck for me. So, I was like, oh, okay, but I don't need this for shadow work. So,
Oh, but yeah, if it's more of a in a way, a deck that's for shadow work, I find I don't use nearly as much as I use other decks. So it's kind of like more versatile if it's not a shadow work deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a very everyday deck for me easily.
Yeah. That's a good selling point.
Okay.
Honestly.
That and the price, because you did mention that you want to keep your price down on it.
Yeah,
I mean, walk away from the bonfire.
Well, I think we should see the third deck first. That's my vote.
Yeah, that's
make it difficult.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like the last one is just there because it's so pretty and I want it.
Oh, this one might be an easy eliminate then. Okay.
Okay.
Let me pull up the last one and then we can discuss.
Yep, I gotta go. I can.
Wait, I haven't even pulled. I haven't
I'm
shared
helping.
this, but I haven't shared
I'm
this.
helping.
Don't help.
Let me help.
No.
I want people to tell me about this deck, so
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe you seen it. I don't know if you have this deck.
I don't have this one. I have seen it though. So this is called the Botanica, and it's all planty, and there's no titles.
Oh,
there's numbers.
I'd have a hard time with that deck.
It is pretty. I would not find this personally. I would not find this very. Oh, I haven't shared it yet. Oh my gosh, hold on. There we go. Nobody else could see it.
Okay. It's
so
really
beautiful.
Pretty, but if I don't know what the flower is, then I automatically am going to go. Can't do it.
The guidebook sample entries are actually kind of small, considering it doesn't. We're gonna just come in real close.
The magician.
Yeah. The flower is on the left under the title.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sideways magno. Okay, so,
so we have that.
You know what? I'm a big baby, and when I see stuff like that, I really want to see the name of the flower on the card itself.
Oh, I don't mind. I kind of like that. I think it's beautiful.
It's really pretty.
It's really pretty. It is really, really pretty.
This almost looks. It almost looks production quality wise like an indie deck. Like it's got a slide out.
It was a Kickstarter, and I think this image is from the Kickstarter. I don't think we get everything that's here.
Oh, interesting.
At least that's what I kind of deducted, but.
Huh.
Yeah, if they're, I don't know. That's I
wonder who's publishing.
I'm not going to be very helpful on this deck. I love the colors.
Peggy's like, I'm out.
No, I love the colors. They're really, really pretty. But if you're gonna do something like that, if I don't already know what the flowers are, I'm gonna feel like I'm at a huge disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
And that I use the guidebook all the time, but it's kind of weird. I'm strange. I use the guidebook all the time, but I don't want to be in a position where I have to use the guidebook even for cards I think I know the meaning of.
This one is definitely. It almost looks more.
It's a study deck.
Yeah, it's so pretty. I feel like I would personally end up using something like this more like an oracle, where I'm pulling a card and then reading the book about it, and it wouldn't feel as intuitive to me to read with something like this because I wouldn't have. I wouldn't look at a flower.
There's my next question: how do you need a deck to be intuitive, or can you look it up, or are you okay with having to look it up every time?
I mean, every time, no. That it has to give me something. But I'm open to I read very intuitively, which I know a lot of people hate that word. But because sometimes I concentrate on what the number is, or what the actual card is supposed to be. Like, for example, it's the Empress, then we can go with what the Empress means. But sometimes on a card, it's depicted in a way that it goes into a very different area or direction. And I go with that because it depends on how it feels in the reading.
Yeah, I read like that too. Where sometimes, it doesn't always like stick to the textbook definition of the name of the card at all. That's why I love different decks.
Well, if it did, we wouldn't need more than one.
I was just gonna say, that's the cool thing. So
it's really pretty, but
you did mention that you thought this was on the list more because it was pretty.
Yes, because I had my birthday recently and I wanted to pick. I always do this and I don't know why, because I usually get a deck that I don't like, but I get but I get a deck which I haven't seen a lot of walkthroughs or information about. So I want something to surprise me, and this was on my birthday deck list for like 2 weeks, and then Book Depository showed me something else, and I was like, "Ooh!" I went with the other one.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, this is one of those things where, like, I feel like if we're just gauging basically based on your reactions, you seem, so of all the decks you've shown us, you seem the most excited and confident about the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I think so too. Because this was just a pretty.
No, it is pretty.
This is a really pretty deck.
Aesthetically, that's one of those decks that I feel like is like so Instagram worthy. Like it's just
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous deck.
yeah, it's so pretty. But I would look at that and go, this is pretty, and that's where it would end for
I
me
would
personally.
look at that and go, it's
I mean, I
pretty, but
want to
don't
learn
know.
the flowers. I do, but I'm doing the Year in the Wildwood right now with a bunch of other
So your
people,
study
so-
docket's full.
Yeah.
Individual flowers have meanings.
Oh yeah.
So having to look up the name of the flower is going to make, well, when I get to it, it's going to make, that's personal to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Plus, for me, it's look up the name, translate it, because I sometimes I have no idea what is it in Hungarian and it makes no sense, and then I'm
Fair.
oh, okay, so it's an extra step.
Yeah, that's a good point. I kind of feel like when you're looking at Bonefire, I feel like you'd really, really enjoy the guidebook, but still could be that extra step, which is an interesting point. Okay, of the 3 decks, to me, looking from the outside looking in, it looks to me like the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight, you other than trimming it, you could literally pick it up and start using it immediately. The Bonefire Tarot, I think you could also pick up and use immediately, but I think that that would be one where you'd be more wanting to dive into the guidebook. I don't know. I kind of, the vibe, it feels like of the 3, the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight is like a guaranteed hit. It just feels like a guaranteed hit versus the others feel more risky to me.
I think based on the way you've reacted, that the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight is probably a good fit for you. As much as you want a really, really, really good guidebook, you just said you've got a bunch of stuff that you're working, deep diving on anyway right now.
Yeah, your study docket sounds
so
full.
you probably don't have time for that anyway.
True.
Yeah.
The Sweet Twilight is the cheaper deck, and you were just it's just as excited about that one as you were about the Bonefire, maybe even a little bit more.
No, that's true.
And the Bonefire has definitely been around for a long time.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you the deck that I picked up for my birthday because it's kind of similar.
Oh, that's pretty.
That one reminds me a little bit of the in a weird way, it reminds me of the Deviant Moon, kind of like. Totally different art style, but it gives me the same kind of feelings, you know?
And Deviant Moon is one of my favorite decks.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think, I wanted the Tarot of Sweet Twilight for a while anyway. Longer.
Deviant Moon is one of your favorite decks. You just got that deck.
Yeah.
Tarot of the Sweet Twilight, it stays on point.
Yep.
Yeah.
It stays on point.
Yes, okay, fine. I'm gonna
twist my rubber arm.
Sweet Twilight.
Yeah, no, you don't have time for a deep dive. It is the least expensive.
No, I don't, and I don't have to do that next year either because I want to do the Arthurian Hollow Quest.
Oh, that's
when
another
I finish
one.
this one. So yeah, I don't know if I will have time.
Yeah.
Okay, so unless there's something you're not telling us, I think Tarot of the Sweet Twilight is the deck you should be picking as your next deck.
Yep, that's my vote.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited. I'm just sick. That's my excited sick face.
My excited sick face. Oh, poor
we're just glad you were able to tough it out and hang out with us for a little while.
Yeah, thanks. And
I'm thank you for having me.
Y'all watching, it is stupid early where Orsi is right now.
Yeah, isn't it like 6 o'clock in the morning where you are?
Oh, it's already almost 7, so I can go back.
Oh, well, it's getting late.
My heart is literally breaking. I could not be conscious this early.
Yeah, it's like 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m.
We have quite
here.
the time difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
12 hours.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on. Keep us posted. So you have a YouTube channel, which of course will be linked down below, Dragorshi's Tarot. And do you have an Instagram or anything else we can share with everybody?
Yeah, it's the same. It's Dragorshi's Tarot. So
perfect. So we're gonna put that on the screen and down below as
well.
Go
find Orsi and subscribe.
Yes, definitely go subscribe. And do you plan on doing like a walkthrough or any kind of video when you get it?
I always plan on it. So yes.
Let us know. We'll definitely make sure that people know that it's up and ready to watch once it's ready.
Yes,
of course.
Yay! Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Orsi.
Thank you for hanging
out. Having me.
Fun.
You're welcome. So Tarot of the Sweet Twilight's the one, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I have to clap. It's like a thing. I'm sorry. All right. Okay, now we'll let you go. Go back to bed.
Yes.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Thanks for hanging out. Bye. Bruno says goodbye. Okay, thanks for hanging out. That was fun.
It was.
It's more fun when it's not your money.
Yeah, or yours.
It's other people's.
It's other people's money.
Bruno had fun. See, look at that.
He always has
Okay.
fun.
So thanks for hanging out and thanks for playing along at home.
Click all the buttons.
Click all the buttons. What decks would you pick?
Yeah, let us know down below.
Let us know. Anyway, thanks for hanging out and we'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.